Is there a more serious problem at hand, or is the league merely defending its best player? Due to a quad strain, Caitlin Clark will be officially absent for at least 2 weeks. Fans, however, don't believe that this is a straightforward injury. They have been keeping a careful eye on it. They had witnessed the hits. The bruises are visible to them. They are now claiming that this is the consequence of something far more serious than just bad luck. You see, this goes beyond Clark missing a couple of games. The league created marketing campaigns around her, sold tickets under her name, thrust her into the spotlight, and then watched helplessly as she was thrashed game after game. They are now posing actual queries. Could this have been avoided? Was its biggest star let down by the WNBA? This is the offer. Clark became the league's spokesperson. It was spoken by all. The next major thing. She is the WNBA's savior. But the energy changed almost immediately. Side eyes replaced the cheers. The compliments gave way to reprimands. Furthermore, it developed into a pattern rather than a single game. It turns out that this was not rookie hazing. This had a personal touch. It was like punishment. The hard fouls were persistent in addition to being hard. Where had the whistles gone? Not at all. She has been ignored by the referees. When it mattered, the same league that had pumped her up abandoned her. As if they intended for her to be hit. As if to see how much she could handle. You see, it was more than just the physical assaults. It was the quiet that ensued. The referees merely stood by while Clark was slammed without the ball, shoved on screens, and downed on drives. No phone calls. No cautions. Nothing but quiet. They watched everything unfold silently, like if they were extras in a lousy drama. In any case, she was caught up in it. She has been recording a ton of minutes. No control over load. Don't let her in slowly. Even when it was clear that she was being targeted, they continued to put her out there. Right now, she's hurt. Check out this video. As she gets punched in transition, the referee practically turns away, not even feigning concern. It seemed like confirmation, not simply a lousy look. As if every comment made by fans was at last supported by the screen. Naturally, social media took off. It was more than simply irate supporters. Former athletes, analysts, and even other athletes began to voice their opinions. Now those poor decisions? They no longer feel arbitrary. They seem well-coordinated. Similar to a pattern. Similar to a message. That's what caused the internet to go crazy. Because the entire system was visible, not just a single missed call. This is where things start to go crazy. Many of these referees weren't even from professional or college streams. Some were directly from high school competitions. No G League. No NCAA D1. All of a sudden, they get accepted into the WNBA. That's not typical. It's not professional. These referees are obviously inconsistent, overworked, and underqualified. And that isn't possible when you're working with players like Clark. The speed is excessively quick. The attention is too much. Training on the job is not appropriate here. There is a twist, though, aside from this. A larger one. Inexperience isn't the only issue. Control is the issue. Not all of the time do these referees call the game as they feel fit. Behind the scenes, something else is going on. To be honest, the referees don't always make their own conclusions. They're being led. Not only by managers, but also by a silent group of league voices, coaches, and general managers. They are in charge of determining how physically demanding the game ought to be. They're choosing what to overlook and what to permit. That may seem like conspiracy theories to you. However, it isn't. League insiders have attested to the existence of this mechanism. Being an officiator is not neutral. It's a calculated move. Every whistle, or none at all, contributes to a larger conversation. Players like Clark are caught in the middle when those conversations turn into political debates rather than ones about justice. She does more than simply play hoops. She is negotiating a boardroom conflict that she never agreed to. The problem is that Clark doesn't match their strategy. She plays quickly. She is a wide-open player. She adds a college speed that contrasts with many of the old guard's preferred sluggish, gritty, muscular style. What then occurs? They allowed her to be hit. Instead of adapting to her game, they attempt to make her adapt to theirs. She is penalized for doing precisely what made her great in the process. Clark is more than simply a goalie. She causes disruptions. The manner that people watch the WNBA is being altered by her. However, some league members aren't prepared for that shift. Therefore, they tighten the screws rather than adapting. Clark then turns into the objective. It wasn't just Stephanie White who voiced her opinions. One of Clark's teammates, Kelsey Mitchell, made a suggestion that Caitlin had been playing through pain for some time, that it wasn't novel. This demonstrates how her injury had been becoming worse over time. Brittany Griner was the next. Mid-game. Mid-interview. After another no-call, she leaves the microphone to rage at the referees. Not even her team was involved. However, she was unable to remain silent after realizing what was going on. Thus, Indiana is not the only issue here. This applies to the entire league. Coaches and players observe it. They sense it. Additionally, they are beginning to say the silent part aloud. You watched how hard Clark drives in the Fever vs. Liberty game. Natasha Cloud gives her a hard bump but doesn't call. The replay makes it very evident. Gasps from the crowd. The announcers stop talking. The game disappears in an instant. White attempted to refute the play. However, she was unable to. Due to a technicality, she was blocked. Same referees. The same quiet. The same conclusion. People are beginning to make connections. And there are more than one or two instances. The same thing keeps happening. Large belongings. Plays that change the course of a game. Overlooked or disregarded. Near Clark at all times. When it counts, always. Clark is presently injured. And instead of being astonished, many are incensed. At Iowa, she participated in 139 consecutive games. I never missed one. However, she is already out of the WNBA after only a few weeks of her second session. Quad strain. Excessive use. Collision. Call it whatever you wish. Fans, however, are aware of the reality. This was hardly an unexpected development. The build was gradual. A mountain of neglect, abuse, and silence. All the while, the league looked on. And where is the answer? Not at all. Don't apologize. No evaluation. No admission that something went wrong. Nothing but quiet. Once more. This is where things start to get extremely messy. More than 25% of the WNBA's total revenue is driven by Clark. She is the league's most watched athlete. For a period, the reason people come is because of her. She is the least protected, though. That doesn't make sense. You would assume they would take every precaution to ensure her well-being. Make her happy. She should continue to play. Rather, they allowed her to be destroyed. I don't think it was an accident. Almost like a choice. The outcome is the same whether it is conscious or not. Your greatest asset has turned to become your worst problem. Fans are also taking notice. To be clear, this isn't about treating Clark like a movie star. It all comes down to consistency. I mean, the cost of tickets is decreasing without her ticket. Attend an NBA game.
Perhaps even the NCAA.
Players who are well-known are given more leeway. The whistle is given to them. But what about Clark? Her tale is distinct. She is urged to adjust after being slammed. Why is it that only she is being urged to adjust? Why is she regarded as an outsider rather than the star? Special treatment isn't the point. It's about treating people fairly. She's not getting either at the moment. League executives attempted to dismiss the concerns you see, claimed that new fans were mostly responsible for the uproar, that they were still learning the game.
False.
These aren't naive beginners. These fans have eyes, viewing snippets, recognizing the trends, exchanging proof, and posing insightful queries. New eyes are not necessarily uninformed. They may perhaps be the most obvious. They are not indifferent to politics. All they are doing is observing the game and the reality. Clark is currently offline. Don't discount her, though. She has recovered from more severe blows. She became well-known at Iowa. She is also becoming into a fighter in the WNBA. She is gaining knowledge the hard way. However, when will she return? The entire league will undoubtedly be watching. For other Caitlin Clark news, like and subscribe. Thank you.